My name's Craig, more commonly known as Second Life Bikes. I'm in a workshop in Leytonstone where I build a lot of my bikes. Today I'm going to be building a Temple Cycles classic lightweight frame. Going to build it into a bit of a commuter style round town type of bike. I got into bikes really early. My dad said he took me out one day when I was about 5 years old to teach me how to ride a bike, and I kind of just knew how to do it and I just rode off on it. My dad was also quite famous for just taking bikes apart for no real reason, and I quite like putting them back together again, and that's kind of where it all started. A lot that inspires me when I build bikes is the community that is bike riding and bike building. I'm very fortunate that there's endless amounts of people out there doing what I do with bikes, and I get to see what they're doing and take inspiration from what they're doing and then do it myself. And that's kind of why I do it, is to be part of that community that is part of bike building and riding. So these are some wheels I actually got handmade by Judith Cycles. I actually sourced all the parts and she built them up for me. So I've got some Halo rims. These are the Aerorage, which I mainly got because they were shiny and silver, but they've also got braking surface, which obviously very important. And then the hubs are Hope Pro Freeze, which are very good hubs, made a long time ago now. They're on Pro 5 or something now. There you go. I get a lot of joy in building bikes, and I often quite look at them the same way as a painter might look like a painting, which sounds weird, but you kind of don't know always where they're going to go and how you're going to get there, and you start kind of adding parts. I quite like literally chucking parts at a bike until it becomes something, and then you find the beauty of what it is, and then you get to ride that thing. Today I'm building a town bike. It's designed for me for like kind of bombing around East London where I live. Whenever I need to get anywhere, it'd be a nice way to kind of cruise along on it. So I wanted it kind of quite relaxed. I don't really build a lot of bikes with drop bars and stuff, so it made sense. It was nice and flat and upright, and it's just a comfy build that I can also put stuff on it. So it's got racks and stuff like that as well. For the components, it's kind of a bit of a mix of new and old. I build a lot of retro bikes, so some of the kind of bits that I like using regularly on those bikes, including the cranks and stuff, I've used like that. But it's nice, there's nothing nice in having a brand new group set. So I've got Shimano Cues for that end, and then the finishing kit is a mixture of like Velo Orange stuff, just because they make really nice, affordable things, and then also some Brooks for the saddle. My bread and butter is mountain bikes. That's pretty much all I build, and I build them for commuting and stuff like that, but also for out in the forest. This being a town city bike, I kind of had to think a little bit more out of the box and use some different parts that I wasn't as used to, but it was nice to have a little bit more of a challenge to think about what I needed to buy and what I needed to use. I do have some other bars in the shed that I was thinking about putting on here that are a lot more narrow, which makes more sense for city riding, but I quite like the comfort of wide shoulders, and like it's kind of my style to hold, like be like a bit more medicine on a bike. It feels more natural, so they're super wide for that reason. Pierre makes these little end caps that go on your cranks. He 3D prints them, and they're really, really cool. But he also, all the packaging is all like recycled stuff that he's, like this is a box of something that he had in his cupboard at one point, and he recycles everything, which is super nice. I'm laughing because we've talked about how nice it is working on new parts, and I've found a slightly threaded pedal, well, crank arm. Everything's going so nicely until right now. I'm pumped with the way it's come out. It's really nice. Everything's worked the way I expected it to, which is always really nice when you're putting parts together in a box. Starting at the top, Brooks Cambium saddle, super comfy. They mold to you, so they live with you forever, so they're really good solid saddles. I've got Velo Orange at the front with the stem and the handlebars, including the rack as well. That's also from VO. On the handlebars, we've also got the DMR Gridlock grips. These are super squishy and thick grips, so they're like nice and comfy when I'm riding around. Brakes and group set is all Shimano. I went for the Cues for the group set, which is super reliable, it's lightweight, and it takes a beating, so it's great for commuting around town. I picked up the cranks on eBay. They're super tough and they're gonna last forever. The chainring is from Medium Atelier, a little French brand that make kind of anodized components. And the pedals are from DMR, the V8s, and they're really comfy. I'm super stoked with the wheels as well. They've come out really nice, considering the hubs are so old. They've been serviced before I bought them, which is great. The wheels built up super lightweight, nice and nippy around town. All in all, it's turned out to be a super lightweight, fun, comfy bike that I can just zip around town on.